Hello again, and welcome to another Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. This is issue number 48. This week we're doing a lot of the dashboard wiring. Not all of it, but a lot of it. This is going to be a long one to the point that all but one page of the magazine this month is, or this week, is actually instructions. So, yeah, it's going to be involved. There's a lot of twisting of wires and fitting wires through. Only 4 screws, and that happens pretty early. So all that said, I'm going to get started here with the dash assembly that we've got put together. The first step is to take the speedometer cable and route it. Might need my spudger for this. And it goes out of the back, down behind this stuff in here, and then routes under the dash. And then from under the dash, it comes underneath and routes along here and next to the shift mechanism. So just see if I can fit this wire a little better. Yeah. Then we take the other wires that are in here and fit them in more or less the same path so that they all come out the one side. Like that. And of course this last wire kind of goes with them. And we're going to fit the floor of the cabin on here. And I'm going to open up the kit and get the screws out. 4 FP screws. Now the trick here is to get everything lined up and get the floor screwed on. Got it almost lined up. Oh, it's because I'm going into the wrong screw holes. It's not the inner screw holes, it's the outer ones. I don't know what those inner screw holes are, but they're something else. Okay, so yeah. Dashboard and floor panel. The screws I was having trouble with, I thought it was these inner ones. It's actually the outer screw holes. These inner ones must get used for probably attaching this to the frame. Okay. Now the trickier part starts. So I'm putting the screwdriver away. The screws don't get used anymore. I'm going to get the rest of the kit out and we're going to start wiring things up. Okay, so I have sorted some of the parts out. I thought one of these was going to be a wire, and it's actually, this is a tube. It's hollow. The other wires come in pre-cut lengths and some twisting and such. And then there is this piece, which is a wire separator and will hold things onto the top of the glove compartment. And a few small zip ties. Now there are mod kits out there to do like scale realistic zip ties, and I thought about it, but my hands don't work well enough to deal with that. So I'm gonna use these. If I hate them later, I may go back and replace them, but I don't anticipate doing that. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this braid of all these wires that are twisted together. And more or less, I mean, I guess I don't have to unbraid it because I'm gonna want one end twisted. I'm gonna twist both ends, but I gotta fit it through this little plastic clip. Now it says there's a small tab and a large tab between the two sides. I think I've got it figured out. There's also a slight difference in the shape of the corners on the two tab sides. It's very difficult. They're not much different in size, but there's a difference in the corners, and I can see that difference in the picture too. So that confirms what I think is the small tab and the large tab. So start with the wires. 2 red, 2 white, 2 black, 2 yellow, and 1 brown. Okay, got it mostly sorted out here. So the first thing we do is we fit the red wires through, starting on the small tab. So red, white, black, yellow, and then brown. It goes through, you feed it about halfway, and then you feed it back through from the other side. So you start on the top, what will be the finished top. Feed it through, you make a loop, like I'm doing here. And you want to be careful, you don't want to pull the loop tight until you're about the halfway point, which is tough to establish on this. I wish I had some kind of scale. Okay, that's about halfway. Maybe a little off, but about halfway. And we're going to repeat this with the next red cable. And then we're going to move on to, like you say, white, black, yellow, and then brown. Okay, we've got red, white, black done now. It's just yellow and brown left. I've been checking to make sure my lengths are good each time. It's a little bit of a process, a little tedious, but it's not as bad as I kind of feared it would be. Okay, so that is my cable bundle here. And it says to twist the other end up kind of to match the first end. So I'm going to go here towards the end, give it a good twist. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to smooth out the other end here. So I'm going to back up the twist a little bit, because I don't think it needs to be twisted that far up. Okay, so it's a little bit neater, kind of combed out. I'm sure I could do a better job of it, but... So now I've got, with my twisted ends, this cable run. This snaps on to the dashboard. I guess it only goes one way. It's a little tough to see. The square end goes... The square end looks like it goes out here. That seems to fit with these tabs. And it snaps on. So what we've got effectively is a block, wires run into it, new wires of the same color run out. It's supposed to look like a breadboard kind of thing. Okay. Starting to get into the zip tie territory, I think. We take the set that runs from the front, run it as a bundle down here, under the dash, and out the gap under here. The other one comes down behind the vent bit here, nope, in front of the vent bit here, and out the hole in the back. So we've got a bunch of wires coming through like that. Now I have to take a couple more of these wires that we sorted out. I believe one of them is actually the big hose piece. C and D are in fact, yes, black and yellow. So I have a long yellow double wire. This is actually 2 wires molded together, which I think they're going to have me split the ends later. And that black tubing. And these are going to go together and then over where all the other wires are. So hopefully the lengths are similar. Pretty close. And the middle of this is going to go down in here. And route down the 2 sides. Now I need to take some of these red wires, and I have to figure out which ones are which. 48E. There's a double, which is E, a short and a long quad cable. So this is the double, and again, it's 2 molded together. You can see it's split a little bit at that end. And this just routes through here, and then comes up to the back here. Now, a lot of this is about layering these in a specific order. So now, this is where we're getting into really tricky bits. We're going to take some zip ties and secure bits of this. I'm going to use a little bit of tape to try to hold it in here while I do this. Okay, first bit zip tied together. I need one of the quad cables, which is the shorter one. And it's going to go through the dashboard as well. Probably going to want to tape this end too. A little bit of tape to hold that in place, and then this is going to come up here and also get zip tied. I'm hoping they gave me that third as a spare. They didn't. There's a third zip tie. Okay. Maybe they gave me the fourth one as a spare. Now I take the longer quad cable. It does kind of the same thing, but from the other side. And it routes up into the same area. And it's going to get zip tied to the other cables that are in the area. Okay, it's going to go-ish there. I'm going to cut it off a little higher up in case I need to tighten it some more. The last bit of wire before we start hooking everything up is this. This has got a whole bunch of different pieces. In the book they showed as one flat ribbon. This has in fact been shrunk tied together at the back, so it's a little different. So, this goes on this side, along with these two. And it goes like that. I gotta keep a bunch of free ends free because it needs to reach up to this stuff. So we're gonna use some tape again so I don't screw up the length. I'm just gonna tape back this much. And that's gonna route up like that. And they want me to zip tie this bundle together too. Okay, so all the wire is in place-ish. the next step is to actually hook ends of wire into places where they're supposed to go. And this is going to be pretty weird. So these two ends are supposed to go up and into some of these red blocks. Okay, first two done. Okay, so the first two are done. Now I got 4 to do on this cable. This cable I may have to adjust slightly. The 2 from up here. And the 4 from this section. Okay, so that was fun. The last bit is the wires over here, which come in basically short and long. The short ones go to the close one, the long ones go to the far one. And they go red, yellow, red, blue from the inside. I did not even notice it before, but apparently there are little bits these can fit in on the underside here. This side, there's one extra red that's going to go to a different hole. Just pull that back out of the way. But otherwise, red, yellow, red, blue again. So yeah, so that was a lot of work. But I think it looks pretty good. Got all that wiring up there, all the faux cabling. Got a lot of tape on the back of this holding things in place. Hopefully that will get secured better later, or maybe I'm leaving tape on the inside. Whatever. Either way, that's it for this week. Next week is more dashboard wiring. Not quite as much though, thankfully. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. Check out those other playlists. Have a good one, guys.